Hey Sagittarius, how are you this evening? My name is Sherilyn, and I'm here to do your weekly tarot reading. This one is going to be for June 2nd through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd through the 5th. Sorry about that. Monday through Thursday, and I'll be back on Wednesday to do your bonus reading and get you through the weekend then. I am so sorry that it didn't get done last week. There were 4 of you that it didn't get done with. I had some issues going on last week and it just didn't happen. But we're here and you're first this week, okay? All right, let's see. This one's for my Sagittarius. Let's see what the cards have for you this week. Okay. Let's see. We're starting with the 3 of Cups. Okay, the 3 of Cups. Then I've got the 8 of Swords. And then the Knight of Cups. That's your backstory or recent past. Currently, I have the 8 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Chariot. In the near future, I've got the Ace of Cups, the Emperor, and the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, bottom of the deck for this reading is actually the 3 of Wands. So the undercurrent to this entire reading has to do with you looking forward, you know, putting the past in the past and moving forward. That's what's holding this whole reading together. The card at the center of your read, so from almost every direction it somehow plays into the equation, is actually the 10 of Cups. So those are 2 very hopeful, happy cards. So let's go with that then. Let's see. So let's start with the recent past or your backstory. Okay, we have the 3 of Cups, the 8 of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Well, the card in the center right here is going to be the 8 of Swords. I feel like it feels like there was an issue in your recent past with some sort of an interference, okay? By an interference, I mean, it could be something like somebody, a family friend, or maybe a friend, a family member, whatever. It was somebody who was constantly throwing some sort of seeds of doubt towards a situation that you were a part of, okay? I don't feel like they got a tremendous amount of traction with you, but anybody else involved in the situation is where they got the traction. So what that means is you stood your ground, it looks like to me, okay? You were solid in whatever it is you believed in or were working towards, whatever, however this works in for you, but this person managed to shake the other part of the situation. So let's just say, for instance, if this is a relationship, which for most of you I feel like it was, probably a romantic relationship, a third person on the outside was constantly throwing seeds of doubt into this relationship, okay? And they were getting traction not on your part, on the other person's part. I hope that makes sense. So in the end, because you stood your ground like you should have and didn't let it affect you so much, you actually ended up being the one who ended up paying for it, kind of, right? Because it looks like the other person involved in this, because I do see it as a relationship, ended up riding away with this Knight of Cups. Like he's taking his cup of love and he is riding out of the situation is what he's doing. So it looks like a situation where there should have been 2 people, somehow a third person got involved. It doesn't have to mean it's an affair. It can just be somebody who was trying to cause grief, but they were quite successful at it, it looks like. Okay, we couldn't change these 3 if we wanted to. Okay, it's already happened. But however it played out is what's affecting the rest of your reading. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So where are we now? Okay, so now I have the 8 of Wands, the 10 of Cups, and the Chariot. Okay, so in the center we've got the 10 of Cups, which is all about emotional fulfillment, which I believe is where you're trying to get to right now, right? 8 of Wands on one side would be all about some kind of fast-moving communication. On the other side, I have the Chariot, which is the second fastest. Chariot's the fastest moving card in the deck. The 8 of Wands is the second fastest moving card in the deck. So there's something coming at you very fast and furious right now. I think it is you taking your power back and moving forward. You know, I think that you have centered yourself, and so you understand what you're trying to do here, trying to get back to a place where you can have emotional fulfillment, and that wasn't possible where you were at. Okay, let me keep going here. So what do we got for the near future? I've got the Ace of Cups, the Emperor, and the 5 of Pentacles. Remember in the beginning I said that this Knight of Cups was the other person involved in your situation. To take his line down, he's got the Knight of Cups to the Chariot and then the Five of Pentacles. Basically, he was supposed to be the knight in shining armor. He went and took a left turn and went off into the distance someplace, into the desert. Now he's got the Chariot, so he's running fast, trying to, what he's running from is himself, you know? He's running from what he's done. He's running from who he is. He's weak, is what it is. Anyways, at the bottom here, he's got the Five of Pentacles, because what ends up happening, he left you out in the cold. Now he's going to be left out in the cold, you know? That's how I feel about that. In this row, we have you restricted with the Eight of Swords. The restriction is keeping you from your Ten of Cups in the recent past. Currently, you're trying to get back on path towards your Ten of Cups. And with the Emperor at the bottom, I feel like you've pulled your power back totally in this situation. Meaning that you have pulled everything back to you. You know what I'm saying? You called all your power back, so all your energy back, so that you can move forward as a whole person. The last row would be the third party, or the interference. There's communication coming in. I get the feeling this is communication from them, possibly, probably, I don't know. Maybe they're sorry, or I don't know, whatever. Some kind of song and dance. I think they're being left with an Ace of Cups too. I mean, they're going in a new direction. That's how this person's going to end up left out in the cold. So the way that they left you is the way that they'll get left, kind of, right? It's karma at its best. What do I have behind the Three of Wands? The Nine of Pentacles and the Star card. This is you looking towards your future and being incredibly independent, standing completely on your own, okay? But being okay there. And then still holding on to hope and faith in the future. Because you will get what you're supposed to get. I mean, you will get the happily ever after. It's just going to take a minute. And it'll be better than whatever happily ever after you had going with this person, because they weren't worth it. Okay, we're going to get 3 more, and I got to do the days of the week. If I have time, I'm going to try. King of Swords, Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. There's a King of Swords coming towards you. It looks like he could be wish fulfillment. And with this Eight of Pentacles, that's all about you becoming totally invested and them being totally invested in you, which is what you deserve. You don't deserve this half whatever BS that you had here in the past. It's time to make a change, darn it. You're going to go all in. Okay, for Monday, I have the Two of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. I feel like you're feeling quite generous on Monday. I don't know, maybe you are feeling charitable to some extent. You realize that you're blessed. That's a good place to be in. Two of Wands, you're at some kind of crossroads. Tuesday, I have Temperance and the High Priestess. I think you're annoyed somewhat on Tuesday with secrecy that you can't quite get to the bottom of, but you will. Be patient. Wednesday, I have the Devil and the Ace of Wands. Watch whatever you're doing to try to cope with this. You know? I feel like when you get mad, maybe you have some sort of coping mechanism that might be considered less than stellar. Okay? So try to keep that under control if you can. And Thursday, I've got the Death card and the King of Pentacles. This is all about a transformation that's taking place inside of you, that's putting you back in the driver's seat of your life and getting you back into boss energy, which is where you should have been all along, right? Not really. If you're in a partnership, you have to give some of that up, but not to the extent that you gave it up. Okay, what you ended up giving up was yourself. Okay, you got lost. It wasn't good. So now you're finding your way back. That's how I see this. It's really a good reading. I mean, I do believe the worst of whatever's happened here is already come and gone. Okay, so from here, it's just a matter of remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing forward. All right. I like it. I like it. All right. There you go, Sagittarius. Again, I am so sorry for last week, and that's all I got. All right. Let's see. Every morning I've been doing these things that are called the Daily Energy Check-In. If you want to check those out, they're kind of cool. I appreciate it if you stop by. These are the weeklies going up. I'll be back with bonus readings on Wednesday. If anybody needs a private reading, send me a message and I'll get you the details. And that's all. Other than that, no matter what the cards say, you go have the very best week you possibly can. That's kind of like your job in life, right? There you go. To alchemize whatever it is and just make it the best you can possibly make it. All right. Take care. Thank you.